Good with y'all, man. It's your boy Henny the Moore reporting live from the liquor store, man. How's everybody doing today, man? Hey, it's Wednesday, it's hump day. That means you're halfway through the work week, man. So you deserved it. You done put up with what you have to put up with. They probably been working the hell out you at your job. Your baby mama probably stressing you. Kids, been getting on your nerve over summer vacation. So it's time to slide on in and make you a liquor store run, man. So shout out to everybody out there with me, and we're gonna jump into it, man. But hey, real quick, let me show some love to everybody in the chat box real quick. Shout out to my boy JJ the Mime. He says, I'm here for you, Henny, on the USFL players. I got you. Ask me some questions. I'm here. He said, I'm an expert in USFL and XFL talk. I will help you. That sounds good to me, my guy. Melly Mel said, what's up, Henny? I can never catch you live because of my work schedule. Love the content, and I try to always like and support. Keep growing. Congrats on 1K, my guy. I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate that. Miss Regina Green, what's up with you? Thank you for sliding in and showing love. And, of course, man, shout out to my boy Matt Leslie for sliding in. Jameson Taylor, my brother Night Owl Cowboys in the building with me. Raymond Silas in the building with me. My brother Joe been tapping in, showing love. Desmond Ironman in the building. So salute to all y'all that slid in. My brother Tavis Banks, Keystone Cowboy, what's up with you? Thank y'all for tapping in and showing love support to the content, man. And hey, Double R, part of the Wrench Gang that slid in. Salute to you, man. So, there's a couple things you got to do upon entering the liquor store, man. There's regular rules and regulations that got to be followed. First and foremost, man, I need y'all to hit that like button. I know most of y'all already have, but if you have not, please hit that like button for your boy. The more times this content gets liked, the more people that will find it, on YouTube. How they promote their algorithm, how you get ahead of the game. So if you have not hit the like button yet, hit that like button. If you're not hit the share button, hit that share button. The more you like and share, the more people will find their way into the liquor store so they can patronize with us, man. Next, after you hit the like button, after you hit the share button, I need you to keep working your hands just a little bit longer. Because after you hit that like and share, I need you to hit an Eagles fan upside the head, man. I need you to slap the shit about an Eagles fan. Because if you slap the shit out of an Eagles fan, you will get half off all the merchandise inside the liquor store. And your boy got what you need to succeed, man. We got Henny, of course. It's my namesake. Of course, we got Henny. We got Gin. We got Cowboy Readers. We even got Eagles Tears, man. So, if you wanted some exotic liquor, or you just want to slap the shit out of an Eagles fan because they probably deserve it, go ahead and work your hands, man. Slap your Eagles fan and get your discount. And last but not least, that we have been running a Dallas Cowboys ticket raffle. The raffle's almost over, and I'm just now getting down to I need to say ticket raffle. We used to doing jerseys over here, but we are going to be doing ticket raffles. So we'll be sending 2 people to the Dallas Cowboys versus the Philadelphia Eagles game that will be taking place in December. So the first place winner is going to get a ticket with a seat attached to it. You can go there, kick back, relax, have your mojito, eat your a burger, whatever you want to do. You can kick back, relax. You only got to jump up and down when the Dallas Cowboys make a play on offense or make a play on defense. Right, so you can kick back and chill, man. You can kick back and chill. Now, the second place winner is going to get a ticket to the same game, but it will be for standing room area, right? So you and listen, standing room still alive. You can walk around. You can go to any part of the stadium. You know what I'm saying? You can jump up and down for joy. You still be able to get drunk. Still be able to slap an Eagles fan and you run into one. So you still have you a good time if you get in with standing room area. And then last but not least, we got the third place winner receiving a PlayStation 4, or they will receive a Dallas Cowboy jersey of their choice. So, if any of that, appeases you, if you want to try and win you a game ticket, hit the Cash App. If you want to try and get that second game ticket, hit the Cash App. If you want to try and get you a jersey, hit the Cash App. If you want to try and get you a PlayStation 4, hit the Cash App. We're trying to do it real big this time around, man. So just hit the Cash App, hit the Super Chat, hit the Super Stickers. It's $10 a pop. And really, you got just about under a month to get your raffle entries in. I will accept entries all the way up until August the 1st, and then we're going to cut it off. So you got just about under a month to get your entries in. So If any of that appeases you, or you just want to support the content and support your boy Henny the Moore, hit the Cash App, $ Henny the Moore, or hit the Super Chats. But thank y'all for the love and the support, and let's jump into it, man. So I wanted to talk to y'all right now about the USFL. Right, we're going to talk about the USFL, and we're going to talk about the fact that the Dallas Cowboys and really every other NFL team has an opportunity to add their players now. You know, they just ended their season, so all of their players are eligible to sign an NFL contract at this point. You know, the season has been decided. They done played their 10 regular season games. They done played their playoff games. They done played, you know, their championship game. So everything is out of the way. They have no more obligations. So all NFL teams can now actively sign USFL players. You know, we touched on this, you know, like a couple of shows ago. But, you know, given the fact that training camp is getting real close to starting, and also given the fact that the Dallas Cowboys have 2 open roster spots, you know, they have 88 people under contract, and you are allowed to bring in 90. So 9 times out of 10, the Dallas Cowboys will make at least 2 roster moves before the start of training camp in Oxnard. So, you know, and hey, we've seen their track record with acquiring, you know, USFL players. Because listen, everybody and their mama love KaVontae Turpin at this point. You know, came in, he was the MVP of the USFL last season, right? He was that league's MVP, and we acquired him. We gave him a multi-year deal, and he became a Pro Bowl returner for us the same year. Now there's talks about him being more involved in the offense this season. He's hand down your fastest playmaker on the team in terms of raw speed. If I'm not mistaken, he's a 4.2 guy. So when you look at the Dallas Cowboys return on the investment, you know, the last time that they went and got a USFL player, you can see the intrigue of why the Dallas Cowboys are probably going to sign one of these guys. I don't believe I know any player on that league, never seen a USFL game. Well, that's fine, because you probably do know a lot of these players, because all these USFL players, you know, used to be either in the NFL or they used to play D1 college. Some of these guys probably played at your school. Some of these guys were on rosters before, and it just didn't work out at the time. You know, some of these guys had off the field issues. Some of these guys had injuries. You know, it's a mixed bag, but a lot of these guys are NFL quality kind of players. And, you know, we're going to talk about it. We're going to look at some of their numbers. We're going to get some background on some of these guys, see how they ended up in the USFL. Because remember, you know, KaVontae Turpin played D1. He played right up the street from me at TCU. You know what I mean? He played D1. He was very productive, very explosive. So, you know, like, he had a track record. It's just, you know, some off the field stuff happened. You know, he had to go the long way around to get into the league. Ended up playing the USFL. He balled, got an opportunity with the Cowboys, and he stuck on. So, you know, it's pretty much going to be the same thing with everybody as you hear about in the USFL. You know, because, you know, of course, a lot of these guys have NFL talent, but a lot of these guys had some stuff happen to prevent them from making the NFL, you know, from the jump. So you'll hear some of these names, you know, and you'll be like, oh, I remember him, or, oh yeah, that what happened to such and such. You know, that's the kind of vibe you'll get, you know, as we go through these list of players and just talk about what they did last year, you know, where they came from and different things like that. So, you know, my brother JJ the Mime, you know, we are going to talk about Reuben Foster first, because, you know, he's one of the most intriguing players, right? He's one of the most intriguing players, right? Because he's talking about him right here. He said USFL, Reuben Foster, linebacker. We could use him, bring him back up to the big leagues. Yes, if y'all do not know who Reuben Foster is, Reuben Foster, and that's why I say that, you know, a lot of these guys are NFL talents. Reuben Foster was a former first-round pick. Reuben Foster was a first-round pick by the San Francisco 49ers back in 2017. So he got drafted a year after Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. So he was a first-round pick. He was pick number 31. He actually fell in the draft due to injury. But, you know, prior to that, right? Matter of fact, I'm going to pull up Reuben Foster's background for you. just so I can show you a little bit about him before we look at the USFL numbers. Let me pull up a little bit of his background information. I'm finna share it to the screen, and we're gonna talk about Reuben Foster. And I like him. He's a very good prospect. Still has some tread left on the tires, so I'm interested in talking about him. Hey, shout out to my brother, the Original People, for sliding in, man. Salute to you. Thank you for the love and support, my guy. And good night to you too, Jameson Taylor. I hope everything is well. Hope you're feeling okay. You know, I saw that you said the Braves actually won, so salute to you, man. Yeah, get you some rest, man. You ain't feeling good. You know, get you as much rest as humanly possible. You know, and hey, Michael Lockhart, I actually said that to the West Coast earlier today. He's like, he'll end up a Steeler because he's already playing in Pittsburgh. You know, it's crazy, right? It's crazy, but you know. And listen, I'm not saying it's a lot that we get him because, you know, if you watch the show with me in West Coast earlier, you know, I already spoke about how I feel the Dallas Cowboys are handling the linebacker position. They had an easy opportunity to upgrade the linebacker position. Bobby Wagner was available as a free, unrestricted free agent. He did not sign for a lot of money, and he just made an all-pro team this previous season. So he was still looked at as one of the best linebackers in the league. He signed for basically peanuts. So the Dallas Cowboys could have upgraded their linebacker position, and they chose not to. What the Dallas Cowboys did, you know, they brought in somebody like Overshown, you know, who can probably contribute in the future. I don't see him getting a lot of reps right now. And we also know that Jaron Curtis, our safety, has the green dot. So that tells you all you need to know about the linebacker position. They're going to play a majority big nickel like they did last year. If I'm not mistaken, they played big nickel about 70% of the time, give or take. So, you know, the Dallas Cowboys like their particular they like their particular package that they run out there. You know, they only play their traditional 4-3 a very minuscule amount of time. So, you know, I think the Dallas Cowboys believe they're set at linebacker. But, you know, that does not prevent me from talking about, you know, good players and why it would benefit us to add them, right? Because let's be honest, the Dallas Cowboys love a reclamation project. You know, they love the story. So, you know, a guy who has had, you know, issues, yeah, I believe that too. He's actually going to be somebody we talk about coming up too. So we're going to talk about the boy Reuben first. We'll talk about Aguilar, who's also in the thumbnail. And, you know, it's funny, you know, I put Reuben Foster and Aguilar both in the thumbnail. So, you know, just to give y'all an idea of the two primary people I'll talk about. And then, of course, there's some other guys I want to look at as well that played in the USFL this year, I should say. What's up, my boy Neil, the serial slapper? You know, slapping the taste out of Eagles' mouth. You know, they eat shit, so he slapped the shit out of them, literally. He said, what's up, Henny? Slapped up 11 Eagles fans before checking in. I appreciate that love, man. Hey, make sure you slap 11 more and hit that share button about 11 times for your boy, man. But let's get into it, though, man. Let me go ahead and hit the screen share so we can take a look at the background of Reuben Foster, why I like him as a prospect to bring in, right? And just to let y'all know who he is, because I know a lot of y'all said that y'all did not know too many, you know, USFL players. But I'm going to tell you, Reuben Foster played, you know, at Alabama. Reuben Foster played at Alabama. He was part of that defense that won a national championship back in 2015. He also received the 2016 Butkus Award, meaning they looked at him as the best linebacker in the NCAA. They viewed him coming out as the best linebacker in the NCAA. He was first team All SEC back in 2016. You know, so, and that means a lot because, you know, the SEC is known for producing, you know, outstanding defensive players. So just for his background, he is somebody, you know, that won, you know, he's somebody that won a national championship with Alabama. He's somebody that received the Butkus Award, who was viewed as the best linebacker in college football. He was first team All SEC, right? So he's a guy that has pedigree. He's not no Rudy Poo dude that played at a small school or anything like that. He was a unanimous All-American in 2016, right? So he is a guy with cachet. You know, he is a guy that, you know, was worthy of a first-round pick. He was not overdrafted. He was a guy, if I'm not mistaken, that I wanted us to get. He was a guy that I wanted us to get back in 2017. Now, hindsight says we were great. It was a great thing that we ended up, drafting Jalen Smith in 2016 and having him redshirt, given what happened to Reuben Foster. Because remember, Reuben Foster is a guy that missed a lot of time, due to injury. Then prior to him getting drafted, he failed a drug test. There's a bunch of things that were going on with him. Then he had a domestic violence charge in 2018. There was a bunch of different things that happened that derailed his career. Injuries, off-field stuff. He tore his ACL and LCL back in 2019. So Reuben Foster really did not play a lot in the NFL before he ended up in the USFL. So he's a guy that has a bunch of talent. He's a guy that has a bunch, of potential. He just hasn't really been on the field. He has some things that then follow him around. He ain't been able to, get on the field and stay healthy or produce or live up to his draft, to his draft placement. So he ended up in the UFSL or whatever, USFL. Ugh. So he had to rebuild his reputation. He had to go out there, and produce and make plays and try and be a better player. Try to put some positive stuff on the field, right? And he's had workouts, and according to here, he worked out for the Dolphins in April of last year. He worked out for the Seahawks in July of last year before he ended up with the Pittsburgh Maulers in January, to be on the USFL team. So speaking of the USFL, let's just take a look. Hey, what's up with you, Dwayne Brown? Thank you for sliding in and showing love to the liquor store, my guy. Salute to you. So speaking of the USFL, let's take a look, at some of his statistics on the season. All right, so let's find Reuben Foster and let's just talk about, his output last year. So let me get that loaded up next. And then we'll talk about Reuben Foster. Hey, one day I'll figure out how to get the phone lines up. One day I will figure it out for y'all. All right, so here we go. We got the boy Reuben Foster pulled up. So as you can see, these are his statistics. He only played in 8 games. He played in 8 out of 10 games, but that is much better than what he been accustomed to. So all in all, over the course of 8 games, he had 53 tackles, which is not bad, right? 53 tackles, total tackles in 8 games, is not a bad output. All right, so that's tackles for loss. So let's see. So the metric right beside him is tackles for loss. He had 3 tackles for loss, half a sack, and an interception. So he had a pretty decent season. An intercept, okay. How many forced fumbles did he have? Let's take a look. 1. Okay. So altogether, 53 tackles in total, 3 tackles for a loss, half a sack, an interception, and a forced fumble. So he had pretty decent output last season. Nothing that is groundbreaking, but of course, that's very solid for only playing in 8 games. He only played 8 games. He had 53 tackles, 3 for loss, had an interception, had half a sack. He played pretty damn good, in a limited amount of time. And when you factor in the fact, the biggest question mark about him was his health, and he still was able to play 8 games. That is a step in the right direction for somebody like Reuben Foster. Hey, what's up with you, Raymond? Salute to you. Appreciate you for the love and sliding in and showing support to the content, my guys. Salute to you. So yeah, man. So Reuben Foster, he did pretty good last year, given, that he hasn't played football in a very long time, right? So he basically came off the couch and did what he did. He hasn't played organized football in years, right? Because of the health injuries, because of the health issues, because of the off-field issues. So, he went out there, 8 games, 53 tackles. That's pretty solid production. Another reason why I'm intrigued by the Dallas Cowboys bringing him in, because Dallas has shown that they have a knack for keeping players with injury histories healthy. We've seen it with Malik Hooker. He has really been healthy, since coming to Dallas. He's played more games, these last couple of years with Dallas than he did his entire tenure, with the Colts, right? Hey, shout out to my brother Neil for the $10 entry, man. That got you another entry to the Dallas Cowboy ticket raffle, man. So salute to you. So Neil, let me get you upgraded and updated real quick. So Neil, you currently have 14. That puts you at 14, my brother. So Neil, you got 14 entries. So salute to you, man. Thank you for the love and the support. And y'all want to be like my brother Neil and improve your odds of winning a Dallas Cowboy ticket to see them beat the brakes off the Philadelphia Eagles, man, hit that Cash App or hit that Super Chat, man. $10 a pop, and I appreciate you. And if you can only send $9.99, we'll charge the penny to the game. I'm not going to prevent y'all from going to a game based off of a penny. So you got $9.99 for one entry. You can send that. If you want to send $19.99 instead of $20 for 2 entries, you can do that too. We ain't tripping about no pennies, no charge. We charge that to the game. But yeah, man, Reuben Foster, man, he is, like I said, the Dallas Cowboys have been able to keep players with those kind of injury histories healthy. But we've seen it with Malik Hooker. We've seen it with Randall Cobb. Right? We've seen it with a litany of different players who have had question marks about staying healthy, injury histories, even guys who had some checker pass off the field. They came to Dallas and they behaved. Right? We seen that with what was the boy name, that used to play for the 49ers? Matter of fact, coincidentally, he also played for the 49ers. Was a pass rusher. Can't think of his name. Ooh, last time that boy played, it's been a minute. But, that's the thing. You just bringing him if he doesn't work out, you can cut him. Because remember, the Dallas Cowboys are going to... No, not the good player. Alden Smith. Thank you. It was Alden Smith. Yeah, because Charles Haley actually came and helped us win. So, I remember Charles Haley. But, it was Alden Smith that I was thinking about. He came to Dallas, had his stuff together, was productive. The moment he left, he was back in trouble. Right? So Dallas has kept guys in line. They kept guys healthy. Like I do, not shy away from guys with outfield issues, injury issues, or anything like that. You brought in Greg Hardy. You brought in Rolando McCain, right? So, and listen, I'm never going to. Don't apologize, Matt. And I'm never going to throw anybody under the bus, who had something happen to them in the past. But you got guys on your team right now that been in trouble. Been in trouble before. You wouldn't know it. You know what I'm saying? But you got guys right now, that didn't overcome adversity. So I'm not, shying away from guys with injury histories. Now, am I going to put money on him? Am I going to just invest my future into somebody like Reuben Foster? No, I'm just going to give him a trial. Now he can come in and he can compete. He can come in, he can take one of these 90 roster spots and compete. And if he does good, he can earn him a roster spot. If he doesn't pan out, if it's too much for him, then just cut him. Just cut him. You know what I'm saying? But it's a high reward, low risk signing by the Dallas Cowboys to bring in somebody like Reuben Foster. You know that LVE has issues staying healthy. You know that these other guys have not played a lot of football. Reuben Foster really ain't played a lot of football either. But still, for a fact, that Leighton Vander Esch does not usually stay healthy. You know that you have inexperience at the linebacker position outside of Leighton Vander Esch. Right. So there's nothing, that is adverse about giving Reuben Foster a flyer. Now, I think they should. Do I think that they will? No. Like my boy Mr. Lockhart pointed out, the Steelers are probably gonna be more interested in him than anybody. Boy, you funny. He said he heard Fleece Johnson was the biggest Cowboys for. I'm sure he's a Houston Texans fan, man. I swear I know he live in Houston right now. He live in Houston right now. And y'all don't know who Fleece Johnson is, go on YouTube or just watch the Boondocks. So they parodied him on there. And that shit's funny. But what's up with you, my boy? Thank you for sliding in, and I appreciate you for the $2 holla. Matter of fact, the Booty Warrior. That's who that was. Man, Neil. But hey, Eastside, I think you are only like a couple of dollars away from getting a raffle entry. I know that you do not care about, going to a Dallas Cowboys game, but if you send like $2 more, you'll have a raffle entry, and you can receive a jersey or a PlayStation 4. If you win. So just throwing it out there. I would hate for you to go and actually see a good team play in Dallas, by winning a ticket. But anybody that donate, what you need to donate, you will be entered. So you're about $2 away. Tavis Banks, he said, I want Story Jackson back. He, Darrell Johnson together would be dope. Liberty Flames. Man, I forgot that they played together. And bro, I love Darrell Johnson. Like he is very underrated, but I think that we are going to be so deep. I think we're going to be so deep at like that hybrid. Hey, Dwayne Brown said Eastside is a closet Cowboys fan. He out the closet, man. He already out the closet. Hey, Danny Savage, what's up with you, man? My boy, the draft guru, done slid in. Salute to you, my guy. Thank you for your love and support, man. So yeah, his being is underrated, but I just think it's hard for him to make the team with all the pass rushers we already have. Then they very high on Isaiah on Isaiah Land. So it's so hard for me to see him make the team, but I want him to make the team because I think he's good, man. I think he's great. And then I seen him up close and personal against my Arkansas Razorbacks. Like he balled against my Razorbacks, man. And we had a mobile quarterback. He still was able to get to him. So yeah, he's a very underrated guy. And hey, Story Jackson is somebody that my boy Landlord, will stand up on the table for. So he's definitely worth taking a look at. He's definitely worth taking a look at. Yeah, the O-line still scares you big time. I understand. I completely understand why. We just got to see how it pans out. So what are your thoughts about giving Reuben Foster a flyer? Him getting picked up, on the 90-man roster, is not a guarantee that he even makes the team. But he is a former first-round pick with upside. He's has championship pedigree, all that other good stuff. Me personally, I would rather sign somebody like Deion Jones, who's been playing in the NFL. Don't worry about it, original people. I done looked at a running back too. Hey, listen. Since these are all guys we just taking flyers on, I looked at a running back as well. Of course, I looked at a kicker. And y'all know the kicker I looked at. So, it's not really, a a mystery. I even put the board on the thumbnail. So we're gonna talk about Aguilar or Aguirre. How you say the man's name? I don't want to butcher it. No, I ain't trying to butcher the man's name, but I'm pretty sure I have at this point. I still want Sue before Philly resigns him mid-season. I wouldn't mind having another big body. Hey, skeptical Cowboys fan, what's up with you, my boy? Salute to you. Bryce Johnson. Yeah, Bryce, I would prefer to get Deion Jones. But, hey, appreciate you for the $1.99 too, man. Salute to you. My boy on the scene. Yeah, Reuben Foster has not played in a few years outside of what he just did this year in the USFL. So, what are your thoughts though, man? Because I'm interested taking a flyer. Like y'all said, like he has upside, he has potential. I always love, low risk, high reward signings. He said draft another running back. You should draft a running back every year because they have a very short shelf life anyway, right? They have a very, very, very short shelf life. He said, is there any good left guards in the USFL? It's hard to say, right? Because it's hard to say how good a USFL offensive lineman is when they're not going up against current NFL players. You know what I mean? So, it's possible, but at the same time, they're not playing the caliber of players to say that they can hold up. No, it's different, looking at defense, looking how you hit a hole, looking how how deep you get in your drops and coverage, how you play the ball. Offense is, you can see route running and speed on film. It's very hard, to try and translate offensive line play when they're not going up against very great competition. Because there weren't really even that many good pass rushers in the USFL this year. The league leader led that league, had like 2.5 sacks. I don't think there was, outside of the guy that had 9 sacks, I don't think there was anybody else that even had like 4 or 5 sacks. So, it's hard to really say, based on that level of competition. He said, give Tyron Smith the Tony Romo treatment. Yeah, put that boy in plastic wrap until it's time. Put that boy in plastic wrap. So that's the first guy I wanted us to talk about. The next guy is going to be a kicker, because it does not matter at this point how I feel about Robbie Gould. I would prefer Robbie as good as Gould kicking for me. Ain't never missed a kick in the postseason. I think I done said the same damn thing on like 20 shows. So, yeah, I think it's the same damn thing on about at least 10. I know I done said it on at least 10 different shows talking about kicker that I want that boy. But, if the Dallas Cowboys were to go an alternative route, I would not mind them bringing in, Aguilar or Aguirre. How you pronounce the kid name? So I'm going to get him pulled up. He's the guy that we talked about, that set that record for kicking. But, we're going to get him pulled up. We'll talk about him in detail. And then, for my brother JJ the Mime, we're going to talk about whatchamacallit after that. Let's see. He had a particular request about a USFL player. Let's see. What was the kid's name? Anyway, I'll find it in a second. But yeah, let's pull up the kicker. I think everybody miss Dan Bailey at this point, man. A good kicker is like a good woman. You never know what you got till they gone, man. A good kicker is like a good woman, man. Because you do not know what you got until they is out the door. Kai Forbath, man, they did not like Kai for some reason, man. I like that boy. Oh, nothing much, man. We just finished talking about Reuben Foster. Hey, JJ, go ahead and put that dude's name in the chat box you had asked me about. Because after we talk about this kicker, we'll talk about him. I said they think Mason Crosby, any guy who has a good track record in kicking in the postseason can come to camp. Anybody who has a good track record in the postseason is fine with me, right? Because let's face it, we were not tripping about that boy, Maher kicking in the regular season. Matter of fact, we were talking about that boy, getting snubbed for a Pro Bowl. Right, we were talking about that boy getting snubbed for a Pro Bowl selection, but he fell apart in the postseason, and that's what I need. But if we have to, beggars can't be choosers. Beggars can't be choosers. So let's talk about this kid real quick. Francis Bernard. Oh, why did that name sound familiar? I feel like I know Francis, man. I feel like I know this name. Bro, we already had Francis. Yeah, bro, we already had Francis on our team, man. Yeah, I remember that boy. Okay. You know what? That might be, that might be something they lean towards, bringing in somebody they familiar with. But yeah, we'll talk about Aguilar, then we'll do this. We'll talk about him. I know he didn't play in the USFL, but I'll still talk about him for you. He said no man should be named Francis. Bruce got the toxic juice and ran through the door. What's up with you, my guy? Thank you for tapping in and showing love to the content. So this is the boy we're talking about right now, Mr. Aguilar. He played in 10 games, and he was second in the entire league in total points. Right, he was second in total points, scored. So he had 94 points. The thing that I like about him, though, is something that I touched on in a different, video. He set a professional football record, not just NFL. He set a football record, for the most kicks made in a game without a miss. He went 8 for 8. He went 8 for 8. On kicks in a game, scored all their points. They won that game like 24-21. He scored every single point from them, did not miss a single kick. And he has a little bit of a leg. I think his long is like 57 yards, which is good enough. I don't want Dallas Cowboys trying 60-yard kicks any damn way, right? But the Dallas Cowboys, man, like they have a kicking issue. And this is a guy who was one of the best kickers in the USFL. And he said, don't surprise me if Maher win the kicking job. Well, Maher is no longer on the team. They actually gave Maher his walking papers. So Maher is no longer on the team, and I think he actually signed with a different team already. So let me take a look. No, Brett Maher is actually a free agent. So they cut him and nobody else has picked him up at this point. So Brett is still out there, but I do not want them to re-sign him. Right now they got an unproven kicker on the roster. So, that's why we're looking at kickers. Bro, why are you reading my mind? Because I already got Mark Thomas loaded in. He led the USFL in rushing touchdowns too. So you know that he was the main guy I was looking at. Mark, and if y'all don't know, Mark Thomas had 14 rushing touchdowns, right? Which is a big thing I'm looking for. We're trying to replace 12 rushing touchdowns from Ezekiel Elliott. So you know he was the key guy that I tuned in for. Now there was a different running back that led that league in yardage. You know, there's a different running back that led that team in yardage, but I don't care about that. You know, I want rushing touchdowns. You know, I got enough scat backs and everything. He said, that's why I'm here. Hey, I appreciate that too. So yeah, listen, I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about a kicker, right? He can kick. You know, he set a very impressive record as a kicker. So I'm not gonna spend a long amount of time talking about him. So while I'm on the USFL page, before I go and look at Francis Bernard, let's get the boy Mark Thomas pulled up. Because Mark Thomas was productive as hell, man. And it could also be because of the fact that the USFL, you know, probably does not have great, you know, linemen. But I'm finna get his stuff pulled up. They ain't got no great defensive linemen, but we're still gonna pull him up. Yes, he was good at Florida. And you know that I'm partial. I'm very biased. When it comes to SEC players, I will always give them the benefit of the doubt because my team plays in the SEC. I think the SEC is one of the best. You know, I think the SEC is one of the best conferences in football, if not the best in the NCAA. So if you played in the SEC, you know, I will go to bat for you. Like you get brownie points from me just by being a SEC product. Sure, I got you, kinfolk. Like I said, I'll look at that after we take a look at Mark Thomas, because he is a dude that I had wanted to take a look at. Because Zeke's average is 2.8 yards run. Zeke soiled. Well, this is the thing. Like Ezekiel Elliott was a victim of playing through injury, you know, because when you put out bad tape, people forget the circumstances of it. But you know, Ezekiel Elliott had lower leg injuries the last 2 years in a row. So should he have set out till he was completely healthy and not played through it? Probably so. But did we need him and his pass blocking and short yardage ability? We did. So you know, his numbers suffered for it. That and the fact that they were not, you know, giving him the ball a whole lot. He only averaged about 15 rushing attempts a game. Tony Pollard averaged about 12, you know, and they got you your 27 rushing attempts a game. And then, of course, you know, you had the jet sweeps and everything else. So the Dallas Cowboys really believe in running back by committee. He said, when you get 90 million, you know, victim. Nah, because the money is the money. You know, the market is the market. At the time, you paid Ezekiel Elliott because he was a 2-time All-Pro and a 2-time rushing champion. So, you know, I understand why he got paid. You know, I understand why he got paid what he got paid. But, you know, it's always good to put context on it. You know, it's always good to put context on it. Because he was playing through an injury. Now, is that an excuse? No. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you can't live up to being who you are, you know, it's probably best to sit down. But, you know, that is, you know, the truth, though. He did play through some lower leg injuries, and his game suffered for that. And then, of course, our entire running back room suffered once Terrence Steele went down. You know, at the end, I think they all were averaging like 2.8 yards a carry, even Tony, once Terrence Steele got out of the picture. Okay, cool. I appreciate that, Raymond. But, you know, just looking at a short yardage back, somebody that can help me get, yep, you're looking at it. Well, you beat me to the punch, Joe, so let me go ahead and show everybody. I got it loaded up. I just started running my mouth. Y'all know me. Y'all know, you know your boy. So Mark Thomas only played in 8 games, only got 7 starts. But this man was going crazy. Right now, do I believe that he can average 16.9? You know, he averaged 16.9 carries a game, right? Which is fantastic. He averaged 4.8 yards, a game, which was fantastic. He ended up with 653 yards, right? Total, which was good for second in that league. The only guy who had more rushing yards was the boy from New Orleans, Hills. And the boy from New Orleans, played more games, and he averaged less yards an attempt. He averaged a full, like Thompson averaged a full yard more than Hills did. And he had 4 more rushing touchdowns. So in an 8-game span, this man had 14 rushing touchdowns, only fumbled once, and did not have a single fumble loss. Right. So who is this kid? Where did he come from? This, that, and the third. I think we already touched on it a little bit in the chat box, though. But still, we're gonna do a little background on him, and I'm gonna get y'all opinion, because that's pretty damn good production. That's pretty damn good production from a kid. Only playing 8 games, 653 yards, 14 touchdowns, average 81.6 yards a game. Thomas a big boy. Thomas like 6'2". Thomas like 6'1" and 6'2". But let me get him pulled up for y'all. So he would fit the mold of a power back. Get his statistics pulled up. Here we go. Okay, so Mark, he is a big back. All right, so he was initially brought in by the Baltimore Ravens as an undrafted free agent. Right, was on a bunch of practice squads, but it does not seem like he ever got on the field. So he's 6'1", 235 pounds. So he is a big back. He is a big back. Now, for his USFL career, he's rushed for 1,118 yards and 16 touchdowns. So, I guess in that they're counting in his postseason statistics as well. So he led last year. He led the USFL in rushing touchdowns. He was all USFL, and he was also the USFL Offensive Player of the Year. So Mark Thompson, hey, so far, what I'm saying, he was dominant. He was the Offensive Player of the Year, while only playing 8 games. Yeah, Zeke went crazy, man. Yeah, Zeke was a baller, man. Like, you can, and man, look, just go back and look at Zeke production. So this man only played 8 games, only got 7 starts, and he was still so productive that he was able to become Offensive Player of the Year, for that league. So, that actually speaks volumes, to what he was able to do. Matter of fact, let me put this stuff up on here for you. Matter of fact, no. So, what do you think about him, man? Do he sound like somebody worth bringing in? Because he's a big boy. He a big boy, almost 240 pounds. 6'1" and some change, and we know that he has the ability to run the ball. 14 rushing touchdowns. All right, so you done slap the shit out your neighbor. Everybody pray for my boy Craig. Hopefully they are not one of those scary folks that call the police. But y'all say a prayer for my boy. We're actually talking about Mark Thompson. Mark Thompson was the USFL Offensive Player of the Year, and he's a running back. He's a big powerful running back who could probably come in and suit you for that short yardage role. I like the kid though. Just based on that alone, of course. Because, I have not seen him, play. He really ain't never played in the NFL. So if he was to come to the NFL, this would be his first real opportunity. Now, he's been on some teams, right? He's been on some practice squads, but he ain't never played in the NFL. He ain't never was able to win. I mean, I think there's a majority of people would rather bring Ezekiel Elliott back. But, just from the reports, you trust James Slater and you trust Clarence Hill, the Dallas Cowboys are not trying to do that. And Neil, I agree with you. I would much rather take him having 14 touchdowns in the USFL than Ronald Jones, not doing much of anything. So yeah, I'll take him over Ronald Jones right now, just based on that fact. Like at least you were the best running back in the league. You know what I'm saying? Now it's not the best league in the world, but at least you were a running back in a league. And you were the best running back in the league. So damn, y'all say a prayer for my boy Choctaw, man. First and foremost, take that off of Facebook, take that off of YouTube so nobody can link that, because we are not self-snitching over here. But say a prayer for my boy Choctaw, man. If he being for real, say a prayer for him. You know what I'm saying? Pray that everything works out in his favor, man. And this is the thing, though. Because these guys, when you think about it, they got 2 roster spots and they want to give people flyers to see if they can come in and compete. Might as well. You might as well. Gotcha. Okay. So they stand their ground, so they good. We stand your ground in Texas too. So as long as you Gucci, man. As long as you Gucci. Just be safe out here, my brother. Just be safe out here. So yeah, so far in regard to USFL players, we looked at Reuben Foster, former first-round pick. Said Philip Lindsay too. See, I'm not a fan of Philip Lindsay, but I will look at a couple of these guys for you. Because Philip Lindsay does not add a different dimension to what we already have. He is more of a scat back like everybody else that we have. He's like a knockoff Tony Pollard. So I'll look at him. To be fair, I'll look at him and I'll look at our boy Francis Bernard. But nobody cares. Like nobody cares. Like that show is gonna get canceled eventually anyway. Nobody watches that shit. And really, I'll be honest with y'all. If y'all want to hit these networks and hit these people where it hurts, man, just stop watching them. You see they stuff come across your news feed, go and block their page. Like I got Speak blocked on my Facebook. I got Speak blocked on Twitter. I got Acho blocked on Twitter. I got Joy blocked on Twitter. Shady blocked on Twitter. Like you would get no reactions, no views. You would get nothing, from me to push your agenda or to help you out, because I don't rock with you like that, because you're like all you do is put slander and clickbait out on my team. So if you want to hit these guys where it hurts, man, just go on all your social medias, block they shit, block those channels, block Stephen A. Smith hating ass, Just start watching their content, and the moment they start getting clicks and views, man, that's when that's when the bread and butter gone. I say you can't be successful TV and nobody watch you, right? You got to actually sit there and watch TV. So yeah, man. So nah, just if they say something stupid, block them and keep them blocked. I got all these fools blocked. Like I don't know what the hell Colin Cowherd be talking about. I got his ass blocked. You know what I'm saying? I would never. Yeah, I ain't gonna support none of that bullshit. Yeah, I don't support none of that. They don't support us. So why would I and you go out your way to give false, negative critiques of my football team? Right? You go out your way to give false, negative, clickbait ass critiques of my football team. Why would I then turn around and put money in your pocket by watching your stuff? No. Dwayne Brown said my sports CTR is all the Cowboys content creators. That's true facts. Hey, mine too, man. Hey, I watch all them boys, man. Of course, I watch my brother Landlord. I watch Big West Coast. I watch Jay Tuck, Boss Cowboy. Sky Steel. I stay watching Vach's offensive line breakdowns. Of course, I can't forget Big Law. So, like we got a great stable of content creators that are independent. They're going to give you the real, and we're not going to be out here doing no clickbait. You know what I'm saying? We don't do no clickbait shit. We really tell you how we really feel about players. And if we wrong, we're always man enough to say we wrong. Right? So, he said, that's what that show you did, East West. What is their Cowboy channel? I don't know. Miss Regina Green, I will ask them on Twitter, and then I will get back to you. Because two of them are Cowboys fans, and then the other gentleman is actually a Patriots fan. So I will get all of their individual page information for y'all, and I will put it in my community channel so that y'all can go and follow it. So once I find out Javier's and everybody else's YouTube channel, I'll put it in the community tab, and y'all can click the link and go to it. He said it's a little clickbait. Hey, it might be. It may be, but I know good and well it's not as much clickbait as these national media people. he said, look like what I don't like about Shady is he talks about people coming up short in the playoffs when Shady McCoy was one of the worst playoff performers in the modern era. Shady McCoy has one rushing touchdown in over a decade. He averaged under 4 yards a carry. He only had 222 rushing yards in 7 games, right? Shady McCoy never had a 100-yard rushing game in the postseason. Like, Shady McCoy might hands down be the main reason the Philadelphia Eagles underachieved. Like, they underachieved because of Shady McCoy. He was their primary weapon. The offense ran through him, and when the lights were the brightest and the biggest and the stage was set, he choked. But he has the audacity to sit here and talk about other players and what they do and don't do in the postseason. That boy was horrible. If anything, he was ass in the postseason. For as great as a regular season player he was, that boy folded like fresh laundry in the postseason. That boy folded like origami. Like one of the worst postseason performers of the modern NFL era. But he has the audacity to sit his bald-headed ass on national television, and talk about the Dallas Cowboys. Hey, I appreciate the love, Dwayne. I appreciate the love. He said, great show, Henny. About to eat dinner. We'll catch you later. Thanks for the love, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, y'all please do hit that like button for your boy, though, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that share button for your brother, man. Yeah, because right now, I think we're actually doing pretty decent, man. We're doing pretty damn good right now. We got 39 people watching and 35 likes. So if you ain't hit the like button yet, go ahead and hit the like button so it can be 39 and 39 evenly. And I do appreciate y'all for the support, man. For real talk. Oh yeah, like he was a great regular season performer. It's just in the postseason, like he was not good. Hey, you dying to get to this XFL talk, man? Hey, I'm gonna get to this XFL talk. Just let me finish talking bad about Shady McCoy. He deserved this smoke. Let me pull my receipts on Shady McCoy. Postseason stats. So let's see. First postseason game, he had 5 rushing attempts and 24 yards. Ass. Second postseason game, 12 rushing attempts and 46 yards. Ass. Let's see. Next game, 21 rushing attempts, 77 rushing yards. Super ass. And then his lone playoff game with the Buffalo Bills, 19 rushing attempts and 75 rushing yards. Mega ass. And then, of course, he was a spectator in 2019 and 2020. So even though he won a Super Bowl ring, he was not good enough to actually play. He was not good enough to actually get on the field to contribute. So he watched from the sideline like the cheerleaders with pom-poms in his hand. You know, he probably was handing Tom Brady water and rubbing his back and shit. So postseason, Shady McCoy was a below average running back. Regular season, he was great. Like he was a all-decade running back in the regular season. Whatever. Congratulations. But when your team actually needed you, they cannot depend on you. Matter of fact, every game in the postseason that Shady McCoy actually started in, that team went one and done. Shady McCoy has been one and done in every postseason game that he's actually played in, which is hilarious to me. Oh shit. I think he did make the all-decade team. He did rush for 1,100 yards. I'm not saying that I would have had him as an all-decade player, but no offense to him, but he did do pretty good. Yeah, Danny Savage said he was giving Tom a reach around. Yeah, that boy ain't do a damn thing in the postseason. Everybody at home, y'all have the same number of rushing yards in the Super Bowl as Shady McCoy. You know what I mean? So yeah. So if Shady McCoy wants to talk about, regular season, like if Shady McCoy wants to talk about what people do in the regular season, I'm all ears. But if Shady McCoy jumps to a conversation about postseason performances, he needs to shut the fuck up. He up here trying to give people life advice for some shit he couldn't even do. You up here trying to tell somebody to show up in the postseason, you ain't show up in the postseason. It'd be the audacity of people being ass and acting like we don't have tape or we just forgot that you wasn't shit in the postseason. But it's fun. It's all good. It's all good though. You know what I mean? But anyway, before JJ the Mime pops a blood vessel, we are going to take a look at the 2 XFL players before we get out of here. And matter of fact, since we're looking at the XFL, I actually have access to Pro Football Focus, and I can use Pro Football Focus to look at their advanced analytics because the XFL actually has a deal with PFL so they can track their statistics. Not the same for USFL though, but I digress. We can take a look at these XFL statistics and see what's going on. If this shit load, anyway, if it loads. All right. All right, so here we go. You've been asking for Francis Bernard, and I got him pulled up. So let's take a look at Francis Bernard. Yeah, I don't watch none of that shit. Damn, he said his girl left him because he never showed up in the bed either. Y'all, we now listen. I kept the football. I'm just saying, like he's a hypocrite. It's hypocritical, to call somebody ass because of alleged postseason failures. When in truth, Dak Prescott has performed in the postseason better than Shady McCoy ever has. This shit crazy to me. It's crazy. How you gonna call somebody out by performing in the postseason? You did less. You were worse than him. Ah, but hey, people have a lot of audacity these days, man. A lot of audacity. So let's take a look. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up Francis Bernard stuff. It's all good. So let's see. We'll see. We'll see what PFF graded him as, because they love grading some shit. So let's take a look and see if we agree with it. So that boy. Of course, he played for the Utes. So he graded out overall as a 69.8 according to them. He only had one game rated under a 50. He had a great game. Highest graded game of the season was an 80.2. So pretty decent. Pretty decent grades. But let me see something. I don't like they didn't let me go back. Okay, so snaps, defense. Okay. So this is what they say he graded out as. So at the bottom. Okay, yeah, I still got it up. So at the bottom is how they say he graded out. Defense overall, they graded him out as a 69.8. Run defense was a 68.9. They gave him a tackling of 50.1, which is not great, but pressure percentage, he got an 86 as a grade. Coverage, he got a 61. Pressures, so he ended up with 14 pressures, 2 sacks, 6 hits, 6 hurries, a batted pass. He had 35 total tackles, 5 missed tackles, and a missed tackle percentage of 11.4. 20 stops. If you don't know what a stop is considered, it's a win by the defense. You either stop the running back behind the line of scrimmage, or at the line of scrimmage, so on and so forth. So he had decent production. They said that boy is 62 overall, man. Y'all gotta stop. Why y'all do this? Yeah, he did also take like a snap or two for us at fullback. I remember him mostly as a special teamer. I really was surprised that he never caught on. He said he'll like Abram Smith. All right, let's look at Abram Smith next. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not looking at Philip Lindsay, because I don't like I ain't saying I don't like him personally. I just don't like his skill set or what he brings to the team. So Abram Smith. All right. Baylor Bears. So let's take a look at his statistics. That's ugly. Okay, now we're talking. This is what I wanted to see. All right, so this is his rushing grades and everything he did. So he rushed for 789 yards. I do like that. He had a game against St. Louis where he ran for 218 yards and 3 touchdowns. I do like that. He also had a game against Orlando where he ran for 127 yards and a rushing touchdown. So he averaged 5 yards a carry, had 789 yards, had 7 touchdowns, but he did have 4 fumbles, which sort of alarms me. Okay, I would probably have to watch some tape on him. So I like the yardage. I like that he had some big games. I do not like that he put the ball on the ground 4 times, though. They said that this man is a creative player. Oh, my God. But, yo, we have lingered on here probably a little bit too long. We will continue to talk about potential acquisitions for the roster at a later date. But right now, the final word is on. I am finna tune in myself. I'm finna turn off my content creator mode and go into supporter mode. Because, I definitely got to go show love to Boss and them. I expect y'all to do the same. There's 35 of y'all on the channel right now with me. So I need y'all to spin the block and go show some love to the final word and Boss and them, man. So I see all 35 of y'all in the chat box over that way. So I appreciate y'all for the love, the support. Continue to hit the like button and the share button on the way out. Continue to hit the Cash App and the Super Chats on the way out so y'all can get y'all some raffle entries. And thank y'all for the support, man. But hey, I'm gone. Slap the shit out them Eagles fans, man. But I will see y'all in the chat box over that way, man. Yeah, let's slide, the original people. I'll meet you over there, man. I'm just finna in a couple corners. I'll be right over there. All right. I'll see y'all, man.